Good morning and happy Monday to you. My name is LaShonda Brown and welcome to Bootstrap Biz Device Live, where I teach service providers how to do less manually and live a more fulfilling life by leveraging tech. Today, we are going to be talking about sales systems, and this is part of our summer reset series. So, we started with a live stream all about how I revamped my morning routine. After that, we talked about how I revamped my work schedule to fit summer. Last week, we talked about revamping my offer suite and really looking at how I make money in my business. And today, we're going to go behind the scenes and talk about the sales systems that I have in place and how I would like to tweak them along the way over the next couple months to prepare for September. So if you are watching this live, I would love for you to help the replay reach more people by giving this video a like. And as you come in the room live, I do have a question for you. Now, if you are watching on Instagram, you may have noticed that I have become a little obsessed with LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn because I feel like when I post there, I can actually generate sales and expand my network. And so I want to share even more about what I'm actively learning. So we did a masterclass and that's fantastic. I put the 2-hour replay up in the Bootstrap app. If you missed the replay, if you missed the actual masterclass live, you can get that replay, the workbook, the Notion template, the 260 prompt ideas, the comment engagement ideas. I mean, there's so much there. However, I think you all really appreciate having contact with me. So, as I start to think about what I would like to do in September as people return to work after summer and really start to hone in on generating sales for their business, I'm thinking of a couple options. I could do a 5-day challenge about LinkedIn and I could walk you through the things that I have been testing this summer and honestly all year long to help you to grow your LinkedIn profile and start to generate sales, to really start thinking about what offer could you sell a LinkedIn audience and how should you actively be promoting it on the platform. We could do a challenge. I also have an idea for a paid monthly newsletter. I'm interested in potentially leveraging Beehive to do that because I really want to see how that engine works. Beehive is going to be stopping by my membership in July. And so I thought, okay, a paid monthly newsletter where you would get 25 LinkedIn prompt ideas for your LinkedIn content could be good because my CTA right now and all of my carousel posts on Instagram is get 25 post ideas. So what if people could pay $5 a month to get new ideas every single month? So that's the other option. The last option is you could say, girl, give me both of them. Okay. You're like, hey, I'm all about a challenge. Give me that kick in the pants for me to, give my LinkedIn profile some love, get my offer out there. But honestly, some ongoing ideas of how I should be showing up would be beneficial. I would love your feedback. So as you are watching this in real time, drop challenge, newsletter, or both in the chat. If you're watching the replay, you can do the same thing. I'll give you guys maybe 48 hours to really comment and engage, and then I will decide what to move forward with. I have no problem with paying my graphic designer to make branding. So we have a name, we have a brand for the paid monthly newsletter. But if you prefer a challenge, then we can obviously create the curriculum for the challenge and be ready to onboard you all for a September challenge date. So that's kind of where my brain is going. I love YouTube and I love showing up here, but I realize many of you don't want to do the most like I do. And so I'm realizing that the marketing strategies that I implement always aren't always the best fit for you. And I feel like LinkedIn right now is actually the platform to go to first. YouTube would probably be my secondary platform, and then Instagram would be last in my mind. Because LinkedIn, it's really easy for you to to leverage community to expand your network and to grow. On Instagram right now, it's pay to play. And so if your budget is limited and all you can do is organic content, it's really not a great place to go. And with YouTube, there can be so much money spent on editing or just equipment to get your video setup going that I think it's a lower barrier to entry, and I can deliver at a much higher level on LinkedIn because I'm actively doing it for myself and I'm really getting in the weeds, becoming an expert in it. So, like I said, I want to know what format you guys like. Do you want a September challenge where you would be a part of a group for 5 days and I would walk you through how to truly revamp your profile and then start thinking about what offer to promote and then actually promote it on LinkedIn by the end of the challenge? Let me know. Challenge. Paid monthly newsletters so you get that monthly support. Give me ideas of what I can post to generate sales, or would you like to actually have both of them? I could see a place for both, but I would love to know how you guys feel. So again, if you're watching live, let me know challenge, newsletter, or both in the comments. Now, so far this year, I have gained almost 1,300 subscribers. So super grateful for those of you who have subscribed to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn the notification bell on because I have been doing more virtual co-working sessions and I'm not always going to email you ahead of time. So the best way for you to know that I am virtually co-working on YouTube is if you subscribe and turn on the bell. 85 or 87% of the people who watch my videos have not subscribed. So this is something that I really want you all to do more often. I also get to charge more for brand partnerships if I have more subscribers. So this is a very simple, free way that you can support the channel. If you're new here, I want to let you know that my team does a great job after the live streams are over to add time codes and links in the description of my videos so that my live streams are more replayable, okay? We are starting to see more active engagement on my live streams than my feed videos. And frankly, I love to show up, teach live anyway. So just know that by Monday afternoon, there will be time codes. So if you want to skip to various parts, if you want to rewind, it's so much easier for you to do. And I will put links to the things that I refer to. However, if you want me to drop a specific link, let me know in the comments while you're watching live, okay? That's the best way for me to know. I can, if I say it verbally, then I'll make sure I put it down there. But if it's something that you need, then make sure you put it in the comments because we can see those when the replay is ready. So my friends, if you are a member of Bootstrap Biz Advice, I want to remind you that we have a creator call on Wednesday. And I want to actually do a very quick screen share because we have so many new people who have joined me because of Instagram. And I want to make sure you understand what we're doing in the community. So even though Bootstrap Biz Advice is the name of my channel and my LLC, LaShondaBrown.com is really our home base for everything. If you go to LaShondaBrown.com and you hover over training, you will see 3 options: workshops, membership, and coaching. Now, if I was to scroll down on the homepage, here's kind of the breakdown because some of you guys don't know what I actually sell. So I want to do a better job of communicating that. Essentially, when it comes to working with my students, I have 3 ways for you to work with me. You can become a star student and subscribe to my monthly workshops. You can become a Bootstrap creator and join my content marketing membership, or you can choose to simply work with me one-on-one to do YouTube coaching. Now, I do very few YouTube coaching sessions, but people who are on my newsletter know if they were to book a call for July, by the end of the month, you're actually going to get your call for half off. So typically I'm $500 an hour. So if you book before the end of the month, you'll get your call for $250. This is just something I'm testing just to see how people respond. But ultimately, the membership is what is going to be the easiest thing for me to scale moving forward. And so I want to do a better job of communicating that. So if we're talking about the content marketing membership, this is housed within the Bootstrap Biz Advice app, which is available in the App Store and Play Store. I want you to understand that I am not going to ask you to join a Slack channel or a Facebook group to participate in community, because I really want people to be less dependent on social media. So I took the time, I worked with the team at Uscreen to develop my own app. And so your ability to replay, call replays, for you to see replays of workshops, for you to communicate with other members, all of that takes place in the Bootstrap Biz Device app. Essentially, when you become a member, you let me know what content marketing strategy you're trying to implement for 2025. And then I add you to those channels within the app so that you can constantly get resources and support from me within those areas. Now, if things continue to evolve the way that they are, this membership may become more heavy on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, because the other categories are brand partnerships, email, and podcasts, and those aren't as popular. So for 2026, we may actually simplify the different cohorts because of how you guys are actually using the app. And so that's something I would encourage you to do if you are a membership facilitator, is constantly be evolving and responding to what your members need, because that's why they retain their membership. If you continue to provide value, they will continue to subscribe. So our brand partner of the month this month is the app Flown, which is an app that will allow you to body double virtually and essentially co-work on demand at any time. If you have utilized the Groove app and you know it's sunsetting at the end of the month and you're looking for an alternative, Flown is where Groove is actually trying to funnel people. And so I have the CEO, Alicia, coming in to talk to us about Flown and how you can get the most use out of it and what are some of the best practices to leverage that tool. So super excited about that. Angelica will be hopping into a hot seat to get coached about YouTube Live on the call, but I also have a couple other hot seats remaining. So if you would like some one-on-one time with me, every hot seat will get anywhere from, let's say, 7 to 10 minutes to pick my brain live on the coaching call. I just need to know that you want to do it so I can send you the invite link to join the stage versus joining in the audience. So if you want to become a star student, which is the monthly workshop subscription, you can go to bootstrapbizdevice.com and do that. You can also become a creator. If you want to be on that coaching call this month, you need to join, I would say, by noon on Wednesday, because after that, I'm not going to be looking at my email to make sure you get access to the room. Last thing is virtual co-working on the channel from 9 until 11 on Friday, 2 hours, Pomodoro style. We are going to get some ish done. I don't exactly know what I'm going to be working on yet, but it's going to be fun and I'm really excited about it. Now, I did create a little video clip within Canva because I really like showing you guys behind the scenes of what I'm doing. So before we hop into Strategy Corner to talk about my sales systems, we're going to go behind the scenes of Bootstrap Biz Device. I made that this morning, y'all. I had too much time on my hands. But this is your behind the scenes segment for Bootstrap Biz Device. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little status update on our test on Instagram. And we're going to start with the very front side of it to show you kind of like the vanity metrics of it all. Now, if you are currently watching me on Instagram, I would encourage you to hop over to YouTube for a better viewing experience. But I wanted to include you all in the process, but I will not be saving the replay on Instagram just to see how that performs. So this is really cool. I see a comment here. I need to settle down and see where I fit. Love what you do and hearing you speak. It's just been so busy here. So yes, I completely understand busyness, my friends. This summer has been cray cray. And that's why, I'm like, hey, September feels good. Summer just doesn't feel like a good time to launch a new offer. So we're going to keep rocking and rolling with what we've been doing. But in terms of new stuff, we're not rolling out any new stuff until the fall. Okay. So first and foremost, I know this sounds small, but like I finally hit the next threshold. I was at 15.6 for a very, very long time. So we have hit 15.7K followers on Instagram, which is awesome. I added this carousel post, which Honestly, I love just sharing resources with you all. So if you head over to Buy Me a Coffee and you buy me a coffee today and you want me to share anything you see as a template in Canva so that you can make something similar, just let me know in the comments when you drop me a coffee. So this particular carousel template I love. I made this front one to kind of advertise our upcoming roundtable, which will be next Monday. And then each page is the bios for the different panelists. So love that. Currently paying to promote that. And this was the post that I did this morning. When I tell you the amount of people who don't know this, this is why I really think some type of challenge would be beneficial. Or even with that newsletter, if I just put like a LinkedIn tip in the newsletter each month, LinkedIn is totally different from Instagram in this regard. It's like literally backwards. So, what a lot of people have been told to do on Instagram is before you post content, to almost like warm up your profile by you commenting on your old posts or commenting on other pages and just letting Instagram know, hey, I'm in the app, then posting your content. LinkedIn, however, is the exact opposite. The best way for you to actually get more eyeballs on your content, and this came from LinkedIn directly, okay? This is not a guess. LinkedIn directly said they want you to engage after you post the content, okay? Not before, post and ghost, but after you post, engage. That could mean you liking comments on your posts. That could mean you responding to comments on that content. That could mean you hopping onto someone else's LinkedIn, but they literally want you to do it after. I have been testing this and it's true. It is true. It helps to boost your engagement when you post and engage for like 10 to 20 minutes after you post. So right now, I wouldn't even stress about when you're posting. I would just say when you do post, be ready to engage. And what that may mean is even if you schedule the content, make sure you open the app and respond to people who interact with your content within the first few minutes. And that will help you to gain more longevity. I just engaged with a piece of content this morning that was 2 weeks old on LinkedIn. So you have a much longer shelf life than Instagram, but that is a totally different mindset from what, if you're primarily using Instagram, what we're used to. So I'm hoping that this post will do well. So I will give it some ad spin. But these were some of the other things that got posted. So we had that carousel post format. I really liked this one. This was from the photo shoot that I just did with CJ. We've got another one scheduled on Wednesday. And so I thought that turned out really well. And I'm continuing to promote Comment 25 for people to get on my email list. Now, if we go to the data side of things, I have been dumping the data from this test into Canvas Sheets. This morning, I played around with Magic Insights, which was really cool to kind of see how that works. So say, for instance, if you were in Excel, what you're probably used to is maybe highlighting the column and then in the bottom right, seeing, the sum. And Canva may evolve to this point and maybe I'm missing something, but I didn't see the sum when I did that. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I have to make a formula to get Canva to tell me sums or averages or whatever. Apparently, if you highlight the fields that you want Canva to work on and you type into Magic Insights what you want it to do, like what's the sum, then it tells you. So it's a different mindset than Excel because it's got AI integrated into your spreadsheet, but I'm feeling it. So was playing around with that. I pulled in the data from my test. And so my top 2 performing posts were the posts I did about podcasting and LinkedIn and how to change the viewed on your profile part of LinkedIn. So your default when you go to LinkedIn, if you look at other people's profiles, they can see you've been looking. And that's part of how you can follow up and you can see where there's interest. But so many people don't engage on LinkedIn like they want to because they don't want everybody knowing that they're being a looky-loo. So you can turn those settings off. And so in that particular post, I show you exactly how to turn it off so that you can go look without people knowing that you've been looking at them. That post actually performed better than the top post from last week. So I thought the best engagement I was going to get from this test was the one I did about podcasts. I got it down to 44 cents per profile visit. That post about how to change the settings for view your profile, I got it down to 40 cents. And the result of all of this was I gained 206. Actually, I think I have a banner here. I gained actually 260 followers and 44 new email subscribers from the test that I'm running on Instagram currently. So I have a 17% conversion rate. So 17% of my new followers are subscribing to my email list where I actually make my money. So I want to keep getting even better at this, but I've got to keep running some tests to see if I can get those numbers down. And so round 2 is going to be to take my top 2 performing posts and run those head to head and see which is my top performing post and then run that sucker in July. So I know that's a lot of data, but my friends, it's exciting to me because it makes Instagram feel less like a crapshoot and more like what do you call it? Like a casino game. I just know what levers to pull, so I win, and we move on with our lives. Last thing I want to show you is what's been happening on LinkedIn. So if we were to head over to my LinkedIn profile right now, and if you aren't following me, if nothing else, I would say follow me so you can see the strategies I'm doing. But let's take a look at the content. We had some cool stuff happen. What I will do here is just kind of scroll down. Okay, so we started the week with this particular post here. This post, pretty funny. It's me wearing a custom purple wig from my keynote for Rotary International. My keynote was purple for Polio Plus, and so I wore head to toe purple shoes, purple dress, purple hair, and people loved it. And so the post was about what's the wildest thing that you've done to make your talks more memorable. Got a lot of engagement on that. 618 impressions, over 40 likes, lots of comments. This was super fun. I had my editor do a recap of our workshop and create a vertical video. Lex and I are going back and forth, and it's got little sound bites that performed well. That reached 243. Then I scheduled the live stream that'll be next week, and that particular LinkedIn event has done well. I did manually invite some people, which really helped. We're up to 17 subscribers on LinkedIn and an additional maybe 10 who joined the email list to be notified next week. But the post that took off, it was even reposted twice, 847 impressions, was this announcement post about me speaking at Audience Camp. I will be a facilitator at Audience Camp. This was a photo I did at the greenhouse from down the street where my friend has a wedding venue, and people love the vibrant photo, they love the fun, and they love the message. So that did well. Last thing was I had been featured on my friend's podcast, but I actually saw her in person when I went to Austin earlier this year. And so she's actually on season 5. I was on season 4, but I thought since I had this photo of the two of us together, she's wearing her branded shirt, it made sense to do a post to drive some traffic to that podcast replay. And so that's what that post was about there. Now, if you take a look at what I posted this morning, I do want to break this down because you need to be thinking about props when you do your brand photo shoots. I've got a photo shoot scheduled for Wednesday to get some more images, lifestyle images taken. And I told CJ, I just texted him this morning, I said, hey, I need to be more intentional with bringing props because it makes it so much easier to create engaging content for LinkedIn when I don't just have headshots to choose from. So this particular stack of books are 5 books that clients, partners, friends have released this year. And this is taken at a local coffee shop, Ironclad Coffee. bought me a little matcha, sat down. CJ took this photo of me. We have used images from this photo shoot for thumbnails, for stuff in my emails, now LinkedIn posts, Instagram stories. I mean, we have gotten so much leverage out of that shoot. And I just happened to pull those 5 books off my shelf, stick them in my bag, bring it with me. We also did some video clips that I'll turn into a reel later. So, these little mini content days, be thinking ahead of what can you share and be thinking about someone other than yourself. Because as you look at that photo, you will see I can easily call out 5 other LinkedIn profiles because their product is featured in that image. They didn't pay me to do that, but it's just goodwill and they're good books. In a perfect world, I would love for publishers to just start sending me books when they release. But right now, they're friends. They're people who I know, or they're members of my community. So that's just something I want you to keep in mind, that as you do create content for LinkedIn, or you do just create content in general, try to get as much as you can out of your content. And so the last thing that I do want to show you, kind of going behind the scenes, I'll just pull up like an Instagram story template to show you the back end of my Canva account. For those who don't know, I am a Canva verified expert. So happy to come in, train your team, teach y'all how to do what I'm doing. But I use folders in my Canva account, and I have a brand photo folder for Ironclad Coffee. And so you can see here, we did a variety of images. We did one where I was holding the Flowdesk bag. We did some without any products in it. I took pictures with each book so I can easily post about those particular books and use the books as a prompt for the posts. There's that stack of books. And so all of those are saved within my Canva account. And so I can easily just add a page in Canva when I want to design something else. And I can say, okay, I want to design a Instagram story. And then maybe after that, I could make some use out of a YouTube thumbnail. So then I can easily do that. And then that would match. Then I could say, oh, well, I could really use maybe something more narrow to put in my emails. And so you can see here how you can truly, get a lot out of that. You could add text over here. There's a lot that you can do within the same project. So really love that you're able to do that in Canva now. And so I want to be more intentional with my brand shoots by doing a bunch of different poses, bringing different props, so that I can get more leverage out of these shoots and utilize all those images moving forward. So hopefully you found this useful, so that you can start thinking intentionally about how you can utilize all of your tech tool resources so that you can get more out of your content in less time. If you have not joined the Bootstrap Club, I send tips like this out on Thursdays. And so I would encourage you, get on my email list so you don't miss these tips. And just know that at any point, if you want to get access to tools that I recommend, I put everything on LaShondaBrown.com/tools. So there is one place for you to go look for everything that you need. So we will take a very quick break and come back and talk about our sales systems as part of Strategy Corner. All right, my friends. Okay, so I'm looking here in the comments. I see both. Okay, that's actually really exciting. So again, the question of the day is, would you be interested in a September LinkedIn challenge, a paid monthly newsletter for $5 a month to get 25 prompts for your LinkedIn content? Or would you be interested in actually doing both? Let me know in the comments by putting challenge, newsletter, or both. And do not forget to like this video if you like it. All right, so we did this last week and we went into my Canva account again, but we use it more as a whiteboard. And so if you missed that, let's see here. I believe, what do we call it? Okay. Oh, we just put a date on it. LinkedIn live stream. Let's see here. There we go. We did the live stream and we'll put it here. Okay. So this is what we did last week. We were talking about how I make money, how 80% of my income comes from working with brands, and how 20% comes from miscellaneous things, working with students. So if I were to zoom in here, we talked about how I have multiple streams of income for both. When it comes to working with brands, I could do user generated content where the content lives on their platform, or I could do sponsored content where it lives on my platforms. The three that seem to be of interest to brands right now are YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And then we talked about the different offers in my offer suite. Then on the student side of things, what do I sell my students? Well, we kind of already talked about that. They can become a member of my membership. They can participate in a pop-up event like the challenge I was just sharing. They can hire me for coaching, and miscellaneous. They could bring me in to be a guest expert if they have their own membership community. They could hire me to speak at a keynote opportunity, or I can even facilitate a breakout session. You know, if they don't have room for a keynote, but they want someone to do like a Canva workshop, a Flowdesk workshop, happy to facilitate in that way. So the first thing I want you to understand before we hop into how we're going to sell these things is you have to have your offer suite written down somewhere. You have to know, how do you practically make money? And to be honest with you, I would even venture to say at this point in the process, it's not just how can you make money, but how can you make that money in the most efficient way possible? You know, again, I told you that productivity is not about how much can you do, but how much can you accomplish in the least amount of time possible. We need to stop thinking about doing the most and trying to be the most efficient. So if I look at my offer suite and I look maybe on the student side, right? So having my offers laid out really helps me when it comes down to having a cash flow injection in my business. Say I've got a big bill coming up, or, you know, we had a situation where my husband was in the hospital in November. Okay, you got a big hospital bill. You didn't see it coming. You need an extra 10K to pay this bill because some stuff wasn't covered by insurance. What do you do? Well, you need to be able to go to your offer suite and say, what is the number one thing that I can do in order to generate a quick cash infusion in my business that will not run me into the ground? That is why when I talk to you all, whether it's on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, I really try to hone in on the work less, live more. We want to be an anti-burnout community. It is not good for you to have these strategies that result in running your body into the ground and sending you to the hospital. It is important that you create sustainable strategies, because being able to consistently show up and do the same thing over and over and over is actually what's going to produce wealth in your business. If you have a strategy where you're hustling until you're blue in the face and then you croak and die, it's not helping you. It's not helping you. So slow and steady wins the race. Okay. So as we look at, let's say, my students, right? If I wanted to get a quick cash injection in my business, what are some of the things that I could do? All right. Well, when it comes to coaching, you could do something like I said earlier, where you can offer your coaching at a reduced rate, but you put a time limit on it. Okay. You can get coaching with me for half off, but you have to pay and book by the end of the month. That's a strategy. When it comes to your membership, I've done this before. Your birthday's coming up. You can offer a discount in celebration of your birthday, but that is time sensitive. Pop-up events like the LinkedIn Masterclass, you could say, I am hosting an event that will take place there, for a small amount of time. You can get direct access to me. You can get support. A pop-up event is a great way to get a cash injection. But when you look at that last offer for the student/miscellaneous, speaking takes time. It may produce more money per client than any other thing that I could offer my students. However, it will take me the longest to get paid and deliver on the deliverables. So say for instance, this week I'm speaking and I'm giving a workshop for the Knot worldwide, and we're going to be talking about how to use AI and show up as a whole human. It's going to be awesome. However, we had this conversation months ago, and sometimes corporations pay you 30 days, 60 days, 90 days after you finish. Not in this case, the Knot was quicker, and I thank them for that. But the reality is, speaking is not the thing that I need to pursue if I am looking for a cash injection. That is not helpful because the lead time, the time to deliver on it, is so much longer than me just doing a pop-up event. So this is how you can start to practically think about, okay, if you are looking at, I am not on track to hit my goals. I've done my numbers from January to June, and it looks like I'm 10,000 short, 15,000 short, 20,000 short, whatever it looks like for you. What can you practically do? In order for you to be able to hit the gas when it comes to sales, you have to know which things have the shortest lead time. Okay. So maybe you get paid $5,000 to speak, but it takes you 5 months to book it, to deliver on it, and then to get paid. And so that money is not going to get to you in time to handle what it is that you have to do. So maybe instead we could do the membership promotion or the discount on coaching, or do a pop-up event with another expert like I did with Taylor. You could mobilize your affiliates. We have an affiliate meeting this week where I'm going to help train my affiliates on how to promote the thing I'm going to offer. So that is why I'm asking you guys, what am I offering? Am I offering the challenge? Am I offering the paid newsletter? Are we doing both? So by the end of the week, I know what to tell the affiliates we're doing in order to drive people to join the membership. The reality is, I have not actually done a big push for people to join Bootstrap Creators because I've been doing other stuff for other brands. And I decided that I'm going to take a little hiatus from pursuing brands in Q3 and work on growing the membership. So that's my game plan. So that is why I'm meeting with the affiliates now over the summer so we can start to develop the resources that they're going to need in order to help me to promote this in September. Okay. Summer is the time for you to start thinking about September and, truthfully, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because things, at least for me, unless you're in the wedding industry, most of us are in a lull. Okay. People have their kids at home. They're going on vacation. Everybody else is in and out of the office. Now is actually the time for you to be doing that internal work on your business to be able to propel it forward. And so my thinking is, get the data, grow your, social influence, grow your list. That's what I'm doing on Instagram. I'm testing that data. I'm seeing, okay, what do people like? What are they responding to? I literally changed my bio. Currently obsessed with LinkedIn. All of my content is LinkedIn. These people are going to be getting primed for months for a LinkedIn offer. I just didn't know what the offer was going to be yet. And that is how I'm mobilizing my community and getting them to provide feedback. It all works together. Okay. So when you have that engine for your business where you can talk directly to your customer, where you've got a community that's going to help you sell, eventually I won't have to pay Instagram to grow my Instagram because my affiliates will be doing it. My members will be doing it. They'll be getting even more outcomes. And so the proof will be in the pudding. But right now we're in the building phase, and that's okay. That is okay. It's just for a season. Now, on the brand side of things, user-generated content, sponsored content, all of that's fantastic. But what I do know is dedicated YouTube videos take the most amount of time. It takes the most time to research. It takes the most time to film, to edit, to line up. And so right now, I am not pursuing people who want to do dedicated YouTube videos. I would rather create what I want to create, maybe even just show up live and let that be that. To be honest with you, I looked at the back end of my YouTube channel and I was seeing that in May, my channel, it tanked lower than I've ever seen it. And so I have been slowly rebuilding it. I mean, some of my metrics are like at 127%. increase over May because things had just gotten in such a lull. And so right now, I'm like, I'm not even pressed for sponsorships. I just need to focus on growing. And so we talked about that in a previous live stream, that really my focus in June and August is growing my network and leveraging my network. So come September, I am ready to do that sales push and work on sales in September through November, because once Thanksgiving hits, I need to be focusing on growing my content library and internal systems, because yet again, people will be checked out for the holidays. They'll be thinking about Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, recovering, it's cold, seasonal depression, all the things. And so because I know that is how things are going to work, I can prepare ahead of time. So when it comes to brands, I'm not pursuing the dedicated YouTube videos, but I am pursuing the vertical videos because they are easy to turn around, they deliver value, and we've gotten our systems down to the point where we can actually pull it off in a day. I can write the script, film it, get it to my editor, and have the proof ready on Vimeo within 24 hours. When it comes to a dedicated YouTube video, that could take days. And so summertime is not the time to be promoting dedicated YouTube videos, okay? So I want to give you this breakdown so you can see my thought process behind how do I even know what levers to pull. You know, if you have multiple streams of income in your business, you have to decide and get some clarity. What am I trying to sell and who am I trying to sell it to? So if this is helpful, I know that typically when you guys get quiet, it's because you are really locked in, but I go back later and looked at the likes. So if you like it, just do me a favor, hit the thumb. You don't even need to comment. Just let me know I like it, thumbs up, and I will do another series like this in July on a completely different topic. So if you guys like how the live streams are kind of stacking and they really reinforced what I'm trying to talk about, all I need is to see that engagement and I'll give you more of what you're engaging with, okay? I am such a data-driven person. So if you like it, I need you to like it. If you don't like it, then I'm gonna do something else. Now, over up on Instagram, it looks like we've had some people pop in and out, which is good. Again, I'm just playing around with giving them the ability to see sort of what we're doing. But again, the best way to view it, Instagram audience, is to hop over to LinkedIn. Okay, cool. So now that we have kind of recapped, you know, where we were the last time, I want us to start with a fresh whiteboard as we discuss, okay, well, what are we going to sell and what are our sales systems? So I'll be honest with you guys, I have gotten addicted to the little post-it notes in these Canva whiteboards. I think that it works well for how my brain works. I mean, literally, my desk is currently covered in physical post-its. And so I think it's a great way to simulate what I would normally do. So when it's time for you to brainstorm things in your business, it doesn't have to be cute. It doesn't have to be aesthetic. It just needs to be functional. Okay. So very simple whiteboard. I just opened up a blank one. And so we are going to do some green sticky notes and we're going to bring them up here. And I'm just going to add a few across the top. All right. So now that we've got those stickies, let's start to think about if I wanted to sell an offer, whether I'm selling it to a student or I'm trying to sell a brand, what are those sales strategy levers that I would pull? Okay, so this is not about what are you offering? It's truly how are you going to generate leads for those offers? So obviously social media is definitely one. So we're going to say YouTube would obviously be a sales lever. Then I would say LinkedIn, that's something I could use to sell. Instagram is a method. Then I would say email list. Let's see. What other ways? I could actually use my own app, which is a new development. So I could use the Bootstrap app. All right. If I was trying to sell something else, I could also do not necessarily email lists, but I would say referral slash personal email. I have done this with friends of mine where I've just literally sent them an email through my Gmail, like not a mass email at all. And I could even say referral personal email slash, we can also say slash DM. And maybe along those lines, maybe one more thing is I have in the past done like voice notes on Instagram. And again, these are the people that I actually know in real life. They're friends of mine in business. And so if I need something, I need their help. Like those are some of the ways that I would get a hold of them. Okay. So if I were trying to sell something on YouTube, what are some of the things that I would do? All right. And let me zoom in here. And we're going to go over here, make it a little bit easier for you guys to read. All right. There we go. All right. So if I were to go to YouTube and say, all right, I have decided, let's choose my LinkedIn challenge. Okay. So let's just say in a perfect world, well, you guys kept saying both. So the offer is going to be LinkedIn challenge plus newsletter upsell. Okay, so that is going to be what we're trying to sell in September because you guys kept saying, girl, just do both of them. All right, love that for us. So if I am trying to sell you all on this LinkedIn challenge and I'm using YouTube first, well, what I would probably do on YouTube is definitely do a content series. And it would be 4 parts, which would be a month's worth of content. Okay. Because it's going to take people a while on YouTube to hear about it. So I would probably do a content series. And that could either be live or pre-recorded, depending on what my schedule looked like. So I would definitely do that. I would also create a custom lead magnet and I would promote that to my YouTube audience. And I probably would promote it within the first 2 minutes and in the pinned comment. And actually we'll do within the first 2 minutes in the pinned comment and in the outro. Okay. So if I was on YouTube, I would say, okay, I'm going to do a 4-week series. It's either going to be 4 lives or 4 pre-recorded videos. At the beginning of the videos, I would say, hey, if you are interested in growing your LinkedIn profile, make sure that you click on the link in my description for 25 LinkedIn prompt ideas right away. Okay. That's an example of something that I'm offering on Instagram right now that I could offer to them. So speaking of Instagram, since we're already doing that, I would head over to Instagram and I would do a carousel post series with the same lead magnet, but different form. And that way you can see, like, are they coming more from YouTube or are they coming more from Instagram? So they would get a different form. Then I would do some IG Reels with mini chat automation as well. In my IG stories, I would give status updates on planning the challenge. And then when I got closer to it, I would also do some IG stories where I would share who is taking the challenge and tag them. Because the goal is to get them to repost it and then I get to reach their audience. So, they get to share about the challenge, like, oh, I'm going to be doing this. I'll say follow Dr. Lolita on LinkedIn. And then if she's on Instagram, she may repost that because the content looks good. So that tells me that I also need to put in some work into designing those Instagram stories and not just do it in app, kind of have something that's branded and very strategic. So if it gets reposted, it is actually helping to grow my business and it's not just content for content's sake. Okay. So that's probably something I would do on Instagram. Then if I were to hop over to LinkedIn, well, what would make LinkedIn different? So with LinkedIn, I would probably, hey people, because LinkedIn people love a good story. Take people behind the scenes of planning the challenge. And something that's really popular right now, I don't know if it's like people starved for reality TV and, the legacy media folks aren't delivering, but we want to give them like daily updates. So like day one of planning a LinkedIn challenge. You have people who get laid off from work and it's like day one of being an entrepreneur, day two of running my own business. People love it. Take them behind the scenes. And the biggest thing for this is people want photo plus meaty caption with link to register for the challenge. And then we could even hit them with lead magnet in the comments. So if they're not ready to join the challenge, they at least can get on your list. But the perspective that people are getting on LinkedIn is not necessarily like, Sally just signed up to take the challenge. It's more like, I wanted Sally to take the challenge. So here are the colors I chose to use because I took a color theory test and this is what it taught me. Okay. So you can talk about the exact same thing, but understanding how your audience there wants you to show up is essential for you to make high performing content. How I talk to y'all on a live stream on YouTube is not how I show up on LinkedIn. And it's certainly not how I show up on Instagram. All right. So that's just an idea of what I would do on LinkedIn. I would also probably do a LinkedIn newsletter. So that got pushed out to the people who are subscribed to that. And that would be a breakdown of the entire sales strategy for the challenge. Okay. Because again, people are going to LinkedIn to learn. And so if you are giving quality content and you're showing the thought process behind your challenge, you're showing them everything that's going into it, you're selling them by simply showing them the proof that you put in the work to deliver value. And so that's a very simple way for you to soft sell your LinkedIn audience. It's just to show them that you're capable, that you're competent, and you did the work. All right. So that is what the LinkedIn girlies are getting. Now, if we head over to the email list, you're obviously going to promote what you're doing on YouTube. And then I tend to email twice a week. So I would say, I would do like a plain text email giving status updates. I did that for the LinkedIn Masterclass. The biggest thing that helped with that is one button at the bottom and just do plain text email. You can do plain text in Flowdesk. You don't have to give them all the layouts, all the graphics. I had logo at the top, plain text, one button, and this masterclass did 3 times the revenue that it did the last time I offered the class. So the changes that I made by bringing in a co-facilitator, the upsell that I added instead of just packing in more stuff into the regular ticket, and the status updates. Every time I would send a status update, I would get sales. So plain text, email, giving people updates, one button at the bottom. Then if I were to head over to my app, I would definitely provide current members with a special discount code. I would also mobilize members to be affiliates of the challenge and give them resources to help them promote The biggest thing I see when people take advantage of having affiliates for their offers is they don't give them good enough resources. And this is not just a small business problem. I was on a call a couple days ago with PartnerStack, who represents hundreds of affiliate programs. And I told them, I was like, I need you guys to just start telling your partners to do a better job equipping us with resources, because they're not getting the leads they could be getting, because we can't even get their logo with a transparent background. Like, they literally aren't even making that available. Just give me a pre-made ad. Give me a couple variations of your logo and I'll talk about you more, because it'll be easier to do. So if you are doing your own affiliate program, I would say give them a PDF with some email copy already written out, with some graphics, with just the promotional materials that they're going to need to be able to put their best foot forward. If you don't equip them with what they need, they're not going to promote. The easier you make it to promote, the more often they're going to do it. So it is absolutely worth it to engage your most engaged members by equipping them with resources. So that is what I would do for current members. And then lastly, if I were trying to mobilize referrals, I would create a quick link to the offer so I could easily promote it in person. You know, you talk to people at a coffee shop, you tell them, hey girl, this is what I got going on. This is what I'm doing. Make it easy for them to join. I had people in real life who live where I live join the LinkedIn masterclass because I ran into them in public at Kroger, the coffee shop. Make it easy. Add a QR code wallpaper to my phone that they can scan. Same thing. You can either do a quick link, you could do a QR code. We talked about this in the networking workshop that Angelica did. You can actually put your phone, you can actually do different backgrounds on your phone if you have an iPhone for different modes. So like right now, my phone is in work mode, so it is not allowing people to get through if they call me. So in work mode, I could make the background that has the QR code for the challenge my background in work mode. And so when I go networking, I can just put my phone in work mode so that if somebody wants to join the challenge, I can just show them the wallpaper on my phone. They can scan it. Bob's your uncle. They can join. Okay. Make it easy for people. If I was going to do some voice notes, I would write a voice note script. So I don't have to think about what am I saying. I'm going through, my Instagram followers and I'm messaging friends that it would be relevant for. So I would have the script up on my computer and I would hit record on Instagram and I would send them a DM. If I knew them, if I was friends with them and I thought this was a good fit for them, I would send them a voice note. It's way more personal. Same thing in personal email. I would actually make a template and customize for each person. Okay. So let me zoom out. Here's the reality, guys. Many of you think that nobody wants what you have to sell. However, I guarantee you, 80% of you are not being this thorough when it comes to selling your offers. You think people don't want it, but you just haven't told them enough. And so I want you to kind of see, if I were to revamp my sales systems to promote a specific offer, this is where my brain's going. I like doing this sort of thing digitally because I can easily share this Canva whiteboard with a friend and say, hey, what am I missing? Is there another promotional angle? Like sometimes I've done sponsored newsletter mentions. I've done going live with somebody on Instagram as a way to promote. Like there's so many different strategies you can implement, but ultimately you need to be able to know what levers to pull and then know how to customize it to fit your offers so that when it's time to sell, you know exactly what to do. And then you can easily take something like this and throw it into your project management tool, whether you're using ClickUp, Asana, Notion, Trello, whatever, so that you can start adding dates and you can start reverse engineering. What do I need to do in order to launch my offer? Give yourself So much more time. It's not, I need money and you try to sell it in 3 days. I would say give yourself at least a month to sell your offers. And I know it feels slow, but you will make more money and ultimately less time if you do it that way. So Lolita said, this is a great visual display of such good information. Thanks so much. You are so welcome. Again, if you like this, make sure that you like it. I've actually given my husband temporary custody of my vibe board. So I feel like we're rocking it out with Canva whiteboards. So that allows me to be at the desk, seated, seeing your comments. So if you like this format, let me know, and we will continue doing it this way in July. And again, I really want your feedback on the question of the day. Do you want to just have a challenge? Do you think I should pursue a paid monthly newsletter that gives you 25 LinkedIn prompts to help you to know what to post? Or are you right this minute interested in both? So if you can let me know in the comments, whether you're watching live or in the replay, that would be awesome. But believe it or not, we are at time. So as we like to say on the channel, until next time, ta-ta for now.